Welcome to DJ's Dancefloors and I Do's, the podcast that helps engaged couples like you plan an unforgettable wedding day, one beat at a time. Hello there, I'm your host, Shane Griffin, professional wedding DJ and MC with over 20 years experience, and right here, I share real advice, smart planning tips, and behind-the-booth insights to help you feel confident, organized, and ready to celebrate your big day. Congratulations! Whether you're just starting out or deep into wedding planning, you are in the right place. Thanks for being here. Before we get started with today's episode, a couple of quick reminders. First, check us out on Facebook and Instagram at Shane Griffin Entertainment, and also find us on TikTok at Let Shane Entertain. Secondly, like and subscribe this podcast so you can be alerted when new episodes drop. And third, check our website, letshaneentertain.com, where you can find our list of entertainers, pricing, our informative blog, and our vendor referral partners. Everything you need to help you make informed entertainment decisions. And lastly, I've developed a free ebook, and it's titled The Bride's Guide to Wedding DJs, and it's available to you for free. No strings attached. If you'd like a copy emailed to you, simply send me an email, shanegriffinentertainment@gmail.com. That's shanegriffinentertainment@gmail.com, and I'll send it right out to you. Now let's jump into today's topic. Should you let wedding guests request songs? This is one of the questions I get asked at almost every planning call meeting. Usually it goes something like this. Are you okay with taking requests, Shane? My answer is always the same. I will if you want me to. I won't if you don't. The requests have to fit your wedding. And that's really the key to today's episode. Guest requests aren't good, and guest requests aren't bad. They're simply a tool, and used the right way, they can make your reception even more memorable. Used the wrong way, they can empty a dance floor in a matter of minutes. And on this episode, we're going to talk about why. Let's talk about why couples worry about requests. Now, I completely understand why couples ask this question. You've probably been to a wedding where someone walked up to the DJ booth and requested a song that completely changed the mood. 1 minute, everybody is dancing to Earth, Wind, and Fire, and the next minute someone wants death metal, or a 7-minute ballad, or a song with lyrics that definitely don't belong at Grandma's table. Nobody wants that. And here's the good news. That's not how professional DJs work. The best DJs don't simply become human jukeboxes. They become curators. Every request gets filtered through one very important question. Will this make this particular wedding better? If the answer is yes, great. If the answer is no, there's a good chance that song is not going to be played. Here's something I tell every couple. This is your wedding. Not your college roommates, not your cousins, not your best man's, yours. That means your must playlist, your do not playlist, your musical tastes, those always come first. If you've told me you absolutely don't want line dances, I'm not playing one because somebody asks for one. If you've told me no explicit music, I'm not making exceptions. If you've told me country music isn't your thing, I'm not suddenly turning your reception into a country concert because Uncle Bob loves the king, George Strait. The requests that matter most are yours. Now, with that said, some of the biggest dance floor moments I've ever experienced started with a guest request. Here's a real example. A bride and groom had put together a fantastic playlist. Everything was going according to plan, and about halfway through the evening, the bride's aunt came over and asked if I'd play Shout. Now, honestly, it wasn't on the couple's list, but I also knew the room. 3 generations were on the dance floor. Everybody was already having fun, so I quietly walked over to the bride and asked, "What do you think about playing Shout?" She smiled and said, "Oh, yes, my family loves that song." And we played it. And within seconds, the entire dance floor exploded. Kids and parents and grandparents, everybody was on the dance floor. People were lying on the ground doing the "Little Bit Softer Now" section of that song, then jumping up together. I tell you, it became one of the defining moments of that entire wedding reception. That request worked. Not because someone asked, It worked because it fit the couple and the story they were trying to tell that night. Like what you hear so far? Be sure to subscribe to DJ's Dancefloors and I-Dos so you never miss a new episode. Every week we answer real wedding planning questions and help you create an unforgettable reception. And if you're still looking for entertainment, don't forget to request your free copy of my 8-page ebook, The Bride's Guide to Wedding DJs. Just send me an email, shanegriffinentertainment@gmail.com, and I'll send it right out to you. Now, let's look at the other side of the coin. I remember another reception where one guest approached me, I bet, 10 times. Every request was slower than the last. Every request completely missed the energy in the room. He wanted songs that only he wanted to hear. And after the third request, I smiled and said, I'll see if I can work that in. Now, some people hear that phrase and think the DJ is just blowing them off. Not at all. Sometimes I'll see if I can make it work is exactly the honest answer. Because maybe it works later. Maybe it doesn't. My responsibility is not to make one guest happy. My responsibility is to keep 150 guests engaged. And sometimes those two goals don't exactly line up. So how do we actually handle requests here at Shane Griffin Entertainment? Well, it's pretty simple. Every request goes through 4 quick filters. First, is it on the couple's D&P list, do not play? If the answer is yes, the conversation ends right there. It doesn't matter who requested it, bride and groom always win. Second, does it fit the current moment? If we're in the midst of an energetic dance set, I'm probably not going to play a slow love song just because somebody asked for one. Likewise, if we're in the midst of dinner, I'm probably not going to drop Yeah by Usher. Timing matters. Third, does it fit the crowd? This is where experience comes in. Sometimes a request is a great song, just not for this audience. A great DJ isn't just playing music. A professional DJ is reading the room, watching who's dancing, seeing who's sitting, who is leaving the floor, who's ready for another high-energy song. That's something no playlist can do. And finally, will this request help create the experience the couple wants? That's the question right there that matters the most. Everything else is secondary. Here's one that makes me laugh. A gentleman came up to me at a wedding several years ago. He had to be kidding, but he leaned over and said to me, "Hey, I've got the perfect song." And I smiled and said, "Sure, what you got?" He said, "Baby Shark." Now, if there had been 30 kids on the dance floor, maybe. But this was a black tie evening reception. The average guest age was probably, mid-50s. There wasn't a kid in sight. I thanked him for the suggestion, and needless to say, that one never made the playlist. He had to be kidding, but I took it seriously. Sometimes people request songs because they want to hear them. Professional DJs have to think about what everyone wants to hear. And here's another piece of advice I'd give every couple. Once you've hired your DJ, trust them. You've spent time researching. You've read the reviews. You've met with them. You've talked about your vision. You've shared your playlist. You've built your timeline together. You've paid the money. Now let them do what you hired them to do. One of the biggest compliments I receive after weddings is when couples tell me, "Thank you for knowing exactly what to play." That doesn't happen because I planned every song weeks in advance. It happens because I'm constantly reading the room. Every wedding is different. Every crowd is different. Some weddings love Motown. Others like country. Some are all about 90s hip-hop, and others want today's pop hits. Some receptions stay packed with line dances. Others never play one all night long. The magic isn't having the perfect playlist before the wedding. The magic is knowing how to adjust throughout the night. So instead of trying to build a playlist with, 200 songs, here's what I'd recommend. Give your DJ 3 things. A list of songs you absolutely want to hear, must play. A list of songs you absolutely do not want to hear, D&P, do not play. And a description of the atmosphere you're hoping to create. Do you want elegant? High energy? Do you want a club atmosphere? Classic wedding? Family-friendly? Country? Top 40? Want some throwbacks? Those 3 things tell your DJ far more than a giant playlist ever could. Think of it this way. You're not hiring someone just to press play. You're hiring someone to create moments. Okay, one more real wedding story. I'll leave you with the final example. My bride once told me during our planning call, "Shane, I trust you completely. Just promise me one thing." I said, "Sure, what's that?" She said, "If people are having fun, don't stop the party just because someone walks up with a request." I smiled and I said, I could not agree more. Sure enough, about an hour into dancing, a guest wanted to hear a song that would have completely changed the energy of the room. I thanked him, told him I'd see if I could work it in. The dance floor stayed packed. The energy never dipped. After the wedding, the bride told me, "I loved that you protected the party." That's really what professional DJs do. We're not protecting our playlist. We're protecting your experience. So to recap, should you let wedding guests request songs? My answer is yes, with some healthy boundaries. Here's the formula I would recommend. Write this down. Let guests make requests. Trust your DJ to filter those. Always let the couple's preferences come first. Remember that the goal isn't to please one person, it's to create an unforgettable night for everybody. All right, as we wrap up today's episode, here's something I'd encourage every engaged couple to remember. The best wedding receptions are not built one song at a time, they're built one moment at a time. Sometimes those moments come from months of careful planning. Sometimes they come from a spontaneous request that gets 3 generations out on the dance floor. The secret isn't saying yes to every request or no to every request. The secret is having someone behind the DJ booth who is a professional, who understands the difference. Thanks so much for listening today. I really appreciate you spending part of your wedding planning journey with me. If today's episode helped you feel more confident about your wedding entertainment plans, I'd love for you to follow this podcast, leave us a review, or share it with someone that is newly engaged. Our goal here is to provide free, unbiased content to help you make better entertainment decisions. DJs, Dancefloors, and I-Dos is a presentation of Shane Griffin Entertainment, produced by Rob Duran. Check us out on social, Facebook and Instagram at Shane Griffin Entertainment, and on TikTok at Let Shane Entertain. Also be sure to visit our website, letshaneentertain.com. A final reminder about our free ebook titled The Bride's Guide to Wedding DJs. To request your free copy, simply send me an email, shanegriffinentertainment@gmail.com, and I'll send it right out to you, no strings attached. Join us next time for episode Double Deuce 22. How many songs should you give your wedding DJ? Because one of the biggest mistakes couples make isn't choosing the wrong songs, it's choosing too many. So until then, cheers!